Well, good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte. I'm your host, Reverend Catherine Bonin, and it's my pleasure to be here. Through the miracle of technology, I get to join you this morning from Southern California. If this is your first time here, we are delighted that you've chosen to join us today. And we're so grateful for the opportunity to touch so many people, especially through Zoom and Facebook, and to share the wonderful happenings at CSL Charlotte. So please visit our website, cslcharlotte.org, and there you can put in a prayer request. You can also subscribe and stay on top of all the great things that are happening at this wonderful spiritual community. We also add the recordings to the website every week. So if you happen to miss a Sunday, you're certainly welcome to watch it there. Center for Spiritual Living Charlotte is a new thought community living in ancient wisdom philosophy. And it's based on the science of mind. Science of mind was developed in the early 20th century by writer, lecturer, and philosopher Ernest Holmes. Dr. Holmes was a man on a mission. He studied the truths from all of the world's fabulous religious traditions and spiritual paths. And he developed a fresh new way for us to look at ourselves and how we fit into the world. At CSL Charlotte, every philosophy, every path to God is honored, along with every race, every sexual orientation, and every physical distinction. This truly is a diverse community. We know that there are many paths to the divine. We can call it God, peace, love, spirit, Ba'ula, the universe. Call it whatever you want. What matters is that we each have a personal relationship with it. You don't have to leave your philosophy or your nature of knowledge to join us. You're welcome here anytime. And we recognize and refer to the many holy scriptures, including the Bible, the Quran, the Torah, and the Bhagavad Gita, just to name a few. Our vision statement is to continue a spiritual community, creating and preparing a succession of future leaders who carefully integrate, teach, and expose the science of mind principles, messages, and practices that strengthen the mind, the body, and the spirit of individuals. One of our aims is to create a high collective consciousness for everyone in this community. We teach everyone the tools to do just that. So come and join us on Tuesday afternoons at 6 p.m. Eastern, where we focus on some of those tools that you can bring into your own daily practice. So now I just want to welcome everyone, invite you to sit back and enjoy our service as we celebrate this powerful presence that lives within every one of us. And now it's my great pleasure to pass the microphone over to our illustrious leader and my dear friend, Reverend Rosedale Jones.
Well, thank you so much. You are so eloquent. Reverend Catherine, I love you for always being here and coming in anytime you want from California, and it's fabulous. So, to all our YouTube listeners and virtual community, wherever you are, and in our own personal community here, welcome. This is CSL Charlotte, the Mind, Body, Spirit Center, and in celebrating the integration, because that's our pet peeve here, of the mind, the body, and the spirit, we at CSL Charlotte, we open up our Sunday service celebration with an affirmative prayer. So today, we have first on our platform is Dr. Wanda. Now, Dr. Wanda, I've known her for so many years since I lived in California, and it was never a day that I wanted anything if I asked her. And she even would come and pick me up from places when I was lost and stranded. And it just so happened so synchronistic where she lived so far from the place, but she would be just traveling that road. So I just love her for saying, well, she could have said, oh, no, I'm home. I can't make it. No, she said, I know where you are. Wait there. It's fabulous. So it's when you have people that's connected like that with you spiritually, you can't go wrong. So with that, guess who's going to pray for us? Wow. Dr. Wanda. So with that, Dr. Wanda, please open us up with this wonderful meeting.
Good morning, and I am blessed to be here this morning. Don't know what's going on my screen this morning, but it's okay. And so right here and right now, I know that we are connected, that we are have arrived here this morning completely and fully. And as we are aligned and connected as a link in a chain that spans not only the globe, but a universal, we are connected to a universal presence from which all possibilities and potentiality are available to us. And I know right here and right now that this morning, as we reside in this sacred space pulled together by people who generously give of themselves, that we will each be expanded, enriched, and enlightened in some way by something that Reverend Rosedale has to say this morning, because I know that she opens herself every week as a conduit for spirit to allow spirit to move through as and in her as she shares with her the topic of the day. And so, what I know is that each of us will hear what we need to hear based on our awareness of where we are in our own evolutionary process. There is something for everyone that we can take away from here this morning and move into the next week and utilize and put into action in our lives, because that's what we're about. We are about taking what we need to take, applying it in our lives. And by doing that, we give others permission to apply whatever they need to apply in their lives. And the good is spread from one to another, to another, to another. And there is a unification that takes place, for there is no separation, there is no duality. There is only one. God is all there is. God is everywhere present at all times. What happens in any one place happens in all places. And I know that that's the truth. So I am very grateful today to be able to welcome everyone who has arrived here this morning with an open heart, with open arms, with the love and light that will be showered upon you today. And so with that, I simply ask you to join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. So, thank you so much. That really is a very great opening prayer. It really worked us in. So now we're getting all ready for balancing ourselves between grief and joy. But next on our platform is our reader, Groovy G, aka Jerry Campbell. I can't even say her real name anymore. Oh my goodness. Well, anyway, she is one of these people like myself who are constantly growing. She's a lifelong student. I will be a student for the rest of my life, and I see her in that same light. I met her way back 15 to 20 years ago in California at another community called Vision. And boy, oh boy, it seems like we were supposed to connect. We're back again together, and she's going to do our reading. So when she does one day she will do a talk, right? But when she does our reading today, she's going to really hit the high points of balancing grief and joy and how it works for you. So now I invite you to take the words of Ruby's reading and then take the song to heart, which is called Oceans Where My Feet Fail, because that's going to really prepare you for how balancing grief and joy works and how you speak to your inner voice. So Groovy, let it do what it do.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for giving me the honor to offer the reading today, which just so happens to be written by our very own Reverend Rosedale Jones. Finding Balance Between Grief and Joy, A Guide to Healing and Overcoming Pain is the title. Did you know that connection between grief and joy can actually help us heal? Grief and joy may seem like opposite emotions, but they are actually connected in a complex and meaningful way. While grief is often associated with sadness, it can also lead to moments of joy as we remember the good times that we shared with loved ones who have made their transition. In particular, grief is not just about the loss of a loved one. It's also about spiritual, emotional, or bodily pain. Similarly, experiencing joy can help us heal from grief by reminding us that life is still worth living and that there are still moments of beauty and happiness to be found. Understanding this connection between grief and joy is a powerful process in our healing advancement. By allowing ourselves to fully feel both grief and joy, we actually honor the memory of those who have transitioned while also finding happiness for our future. As survivors, the spiritual power within us expects us to explore our connection with it more deeply through self-reflection. Through spiritual practice, it is made clear to us how this connection helps us find meaning in our experiences of what we may think is a loss and move toward healing. The following is a quote from Reverend Rosedale. When experiencing pain, learning the art of letting go and accepting life's unpredictability is key. And so it is.
Just relax your eyes as you realize that spirit leads you where your faith is without borders. There is no border around. And so take that deep breath in, and then you just nicely exhale. And when you do, what about thinking of what you love about those words from Ocean, where my feet may fail? Because that song is a metaphor where she's singing to the power within herself. And as we listen, we feel the power within ourselves say these very words to us. It's a chant. Spirit, lead me to where my faith is without borders. Let me walk upon the waters whenever you would call me. Now, they're not talking about being an a human being outside of us. They're talking about a person within, which is us, which is that spirit. This is never, words like that are never to be taken literally as you're talking to someone else outside of you. Because when you're in meditation, spirit is calling us. When we're driving and we're in reflection of whatever we're doing and we're thinking, spirit is talking to us. When we're in deep thought, we're listening to that power that's within us. And anytime we must remember that we have conversations inside, we're conversing with our divine identity. So with this talk topic, balancing grief and joy, it's designed to awaken us to that inner voice inside of us. So prepare for the talk, balancing grief and joy. So wiggle your fingers and your toes. Integrate that mind, that body, and that spirit. And just look around your space with such gratitude and act as though you're a new person, right? You just got here. And in the meantime, as you acclimate yourself back into the service, I'm taking a gratitude moment. And first, I'm going to give great thanks to our fabulous MC, Reverend Catherine, the fabulous woman who took me into her community when I first met her. The first day, she just grabbed me by the hand. I was in ministerial school, and she just walked me through for all those years and was with me all the way throughout my exams. So, wow. All these beautiful people coming back to repeat life with me. So I'm so grateful for that. I am in joy for that. So being our talk topic is balancing grief and joy. It came to life to me when Ruby did her reading on finding grief and joy. So thank you, Groovy, for that. It was just so awesome. And then Dr. Wanda, thank you for that heartfelt opening prayer, because you always pray so well and really open me. And I always reflect on that talk, whatever it is it's about that I'm going to say. So I love it. So that's a wonderful thing. So while we're holding that prayer light and thinking about the prayer, let's remember the ecclesiastical teen as we hold the high watch for everyone in the service, everyone listening. Even when you listen on YouTube, know you're in the high watch of CSL Charlotte. And for those who would like to experience any type of healing, join our consciousness meetings, which you will learn more about shortly. So we're going to talk about balancing grief and joy, but let me tell you a little bit about the two of them first. You see, grief and joy are two natural but inevitable emotions. You see, We experience them at all different points in our lives, right? But it's perfectly normal to feel grief and joy simultaneously. But people think they're supposed to be sad when you go to a memorial for someone, or you're supposed to be sad when they cross over, and you feel some type of shame. That's grief, because people are saying, you don't feel any remorse, why don't you cry, or whatever it is. It can be very difficult to find balance between the two. So grief has a certain power, believe it or not. It has the power to lead you in your mind to entertain these adverse thoughts. But see, grief is not bad nor good. It's just a mere emotion. And this motion, it must be attended to by us. You know, that's the only way we can really avoid spiritual bypass. Because you see, when we use spiritual bypass, you know what we're doing? Acting like a Pollyanna. You pretend that everything is fine. You say, oh, you stepped on my toe. Oh, no, it's okay. It'll go away. You know, you. The thing is, you can't pretend like Pollyanna in all situations. The grief, feel it. See, the most important activity that we can do while we're in grief is be with it. Ooh. Being with it. Not pushing it away and stuffing it and hiding it and ignoring it and pretending that it's there. Or, you know, some people have a tendency to say, oh, I'm going to get really, really busy. So as I'm going to get really, really busy, I'm going to forget that all it's doing is stuffing, and it's growing. And we don't need that inside, that power that's within us. We don't need it. So we got to learn to share and discover what grief is trying to tell us. And that is what we do at our consciousness meetings. We really talk about these things until one day 100% of our community will be practicing, you know, doing their spiritual practices, because we expect to be propelled from the grief to the joy. But all we have to do is realize that spiritual practice is the thing that keeps us on top of everything. You see, because joy, not like grief, it comes from the heart, and it is our source of joy, and it is within us. So it's always here, it's always ready, it's always there to be expressed through us. When we express that joy through us, what does it do? It goes and attracts into someone else. You smile at someone, guess what happens? It's energetic. They're going to smile back. If you cry, what do you think is going to happen? They're going to cry too at some points. It depends on who you're doing it with. Grief is the other side of joy. That's all it is. It's not bad, it's not good. And see, people dwell in it, though. That's when it becomes an issue. People dwell in it because they are unaware of the human experience that is really living a spiritual life. We are here as spiritual beings in a human experience. But the thing is, we just got to remember that. You see, if we look at grief straight in the face when it's coming to us head on, we can see it as the messenger that catapults us into the next level, like to a greater yet to be. Because see, sometimes losing a job, you might say to yourself, oh, that's not good. So you can dwell in your grief. But what if that job was here for you to become your greater yet to be? I am grateful for all the things that people did to me that I felt wasn't right, that I felt caused me grief, because I would have still been in that nonsense if they hadn't done that and made me say, I'm out of here. You know, where am I going next? So with just understanding that we can balance grief and joy, I want you to know that's what I'm talking about today. How to focus and nurture our spirit and take control of our mind in order to meet the challenges of our body. Because you know that's all I talk about is the mind, body, spirit connection. Because it is vital for us. But first of all, you got to get used to allowing this mind to control this body, because people really let the body control. Somebody says, well, I want to see you tomorrow. I'll meet you. I'll be there. And then all of a sudden they say, I'm tired. They're listening to their body now. Because really, if you do go do what you said you were going to do, you're going to feel great in the mind. Because see, what happens is when you do that, you feel accomplished for doing the things you say you'll do. But if you don't do it, you're regurgitating over and over and over. Well, dang, I should have gone. Oh, I didn't go. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Just remember this. Spirit always says yes to whatever our minds are focused on. So when we're focused on grief, guess what spirit is going to match with us? Okay. When we focus on joy, spirit is saying, yes, give her more or give him more of that, right? See, we have a bunch of consequences if we don't learn spiritual practices or we don't learn to focus on healing the mind. And one of them is a mind health conscious consequence. Okay. See, it's ignoring your inner voice. Oh my God, when you ignore that inner voice. In other words, if I'm sitting there and I really want to get up and dance and I'm sitting there going, no, they're looking at me. Guess what I'm doing? I'm increasing the chance of developing some type of anxiety because the body is saying, the mind is saying, come on, move. The body is going, no, don't. No, yeah. Don't do it to yourself. Because you know what? Research, you know me and my research. Research proves research proves that paying attention to your emotions is key. But if you do, you get to avoid mental health issues. So we need to focus on how we become more mindful. How am I going to become more mindful of my mind and my thoughts? Just ask those questions to yourself as much as you can. We have another consequence. It's called body health consequence. Ooh. I love this body that we've been given, and I'm knowing you love your bodies too. So, but here's the deal. If we ignore that inner voice, it's dangerous because it does lead to potential life-threatening conditions like hypertension, diabetes, and cardiovascular. An example of that is when you think of, I love watching nature movies, the Discovery Channel, and when they tell us all about these animals there. So the deer, the lion lays down in the grass and the deer is over there grazing, but all of a sudden that deer looks and see inside that deer is all inside of our torso is all our energy, right? And it picks up everything and it moves all the power from there into the legs, the four legs. We got arms and feet, right? But the four legs of the deer, and the deer takes everything it's got and bounces. It's gone, 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 gone. But here's the deal. The lion may miss the deer, and once it does that, the deer notices the lion lost him because the deer knows what to do. It does just like that. I used to watch the deer. I'd go literally out my window and I would watch those deer stay there when they hear us moving around. And so soon as that lion goes away, that deer lets go and goes back like it never happened. But here's the deal. The hypertension, the diabetes, the cardiovascular, the cholesterol, and all of those things that humans do, they hold it. They tell everybody right after that. And do you know he blew the horn at me? And do you know he cut me off on the road? And do you know that's what I had on the way to work today? Carrion. The deer, the animals of the forest live longer than us. Oh, I got to tell you about some of these creatures that live to be 900 years old. Well, I learned that too in research. I love it. See, this is what I know. Studies have suggested to me, because I read my studies and I do my research, it has suggested that suppressing feelings really cause a long-term stress. And that long-term stress affects our physical bodily health really adversely. Ooh. That's the mind and the body. Let's look at the spiritual consequences. Neglecting your inner voice really impacts the relationships with other people around you, particularly as we struggle to communicate our needs to people. People struggle to communicate their needs because they don't feel worthy of being heard because they were always shut up as a kid or shut up as a wife or shut up as a whatever. But the problem is you got to grow out of that through spiritual practices, because when you ignore your wants, you diminish the power within you. This power within us is so powerful that it can give us just what we're focused on. And if you're focusing on fear of that person, you get more of that. Once again, research says that suppressing your emotions leads to conflict and strained relationships with other people. Wow. And one of the things I get excited about is I got all of these wonderful, fabulous clients that I deal with every day. And I'm excited that I get to share some fabulous activities and ideas with them so that they can change. And see, those are activities that really bring joy to people, right? I absolutely love empowering people so that they can take control of their lives. I find so much joy in inspiring people, because what it does is it inspires me. And when I'm inspired, boy, look out. I got so much love to give. I've got so much everything to give. And I'm so grateful to me for that. And so I like the fact that we can get to make things. So what we do is we need to, what I like doing is having people engage in activities, but they have to be willing. And if they're not, I can't force. But you know what? Engaging in activities that bring joy, it really helps us balance our feelings between grief and joy, because we're going to feel both of them every day. We're going to look at them head on. We got to learn to do that. See, there are so many amazing things that we could do. And some of them is like, we can take a walk on the beach. We can dance. Oh, last Saturday, we danced our butt off and I burned calories, something like that. I enjoy dancing and I like practicing. I do reconstructive yoga, and I also do just a mild yoga, just to bring the body back. I love that. So that's what I love teaching people as well, because it just keeps that mind, that body, that spirit connected for that hour we're on the mat. Because you see, what happens is once you leave that, you are fine for the day. Just practice a little bit. Yoga is a spiritual practice too. It's not something that's going to take you away from a religion or whatever. And even laughter yoga is a great thing to do. See, it's really crucial to find these activities, right? To truly resonate with us and bring joy into our life. So, hey, my question, what are you waiting for? That's right, I'm curious. You know that it takes work for everything you do. So why not balance yourself for the happiness side, for the love side of you, for the joy side of you? Why not? A few weeks ago, I talked about the importance of self-care. But you know what? In order for us to live our best lives, it's essential that we really bring together or incorporate self-care every day. Every day, every day, every day. Did I say every day? Woo, every day. You see, this helps us stay connected and in tune with who we are as individuals. We could get to truly understand ourselves. We need to recognize the boundless opportunities that we have within us, around us, and through us, and with the people we deal with, the loved ones that we share our time with. Truly understand there are boundless opportunities when we actually give ourselves that time. It's available to us. All we got to do is tap into it. that unlocks that beautiful power. And it's incredibly, I shouldn't be clapping over my mic. I mean, and it's incredibly life changing and rewarding, right? So the thing is this, when we have self awareness in our lives, the mind body spirit connection is so easily realized from us, by us, that as it's realized to us as a perfect entity. uh, that's the way I can call it, right? And see, what happens is, you got that need, and what happens is it can't do anything but turn you into unlimited success when you really work that mind body spirit connection, because the three of them together, OMG, is something else. So every single one of us have this tremendous power. It's just waiting to be let go of. So remember that no matter what you have in you, nope, the voice in you doesn't force anything to happen. That voice does not say, you better go do it. It says, turn right here. And you say, well, no, I'm going to turn left because I don't think you're right. Okay. It says, call up, let's say you're starting a business, call up so and so and so and so and so and so. Oh no, I don't want to call him because he's busy. Go do, no. That power is not going to force you. That power of spirit is known as potentiality. When you listen to it, things work all day long. Remember to learn to write lists of all the things you got to do every day, because you create what is known as a roadmap for you to be able to do all the things you do. I have a busy schedule, but you would never know it. You would think I'm always relaxing. There's this thing called what, when, where, if, then. I'm telling you, if you ask me for it, I'll give you the little practice to it, because we are about to wrap it up. Okay? But listen, take action for opportunities that present themselves to you. Don't go back in, because you're going to create grief. I'm sorry. It's really what happens if you don't. So just know that. So I'm getting ready to remind you of last week when I said that little chatterbox in you that goes on for 24/7. Well, it's there every day and all day. But here's the deal. You know what it should be saying to you. Your mind will be telling it to let you know what you want to say. So you tell it what you will allow it to say to you, and you will take control of it. Because you know what? These are certain things that also mess you up with the grief side. Pressure from people at work, at somewhere, and whatever have you. But pressure takes you to the edge, right? Jealousy, what it does is this is about the song we're getting ready to go into. So what jealousy does is it lies right there, and people lie to you, and they tell you things that you really aren't. They tell you things like you're not good enough. That's a lie. Those are lies. They give you reasons to be shameful. Shame makes you hate yourself. So don't let people shame you. Find joy by actually doing a lot more spiritual practices, shoring up that mind a whole lot more, and listening to the lyrics of this song by Andy Grammer. He's singing, I found joy in my life. I like how he says, it got me like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I found joy in my life. Remember what he said. Sometimes grief can stay too long, and it'll stay longer than you like. Recognize that and be on the side where you can say, I found joy in my life. So back to me again. So this is the time when we celebrate birthdays, you know. We like to tell people happy birthday. Now, I know that some people think that we're going to worry about their year, but I don't care about my age technically, but it's okay, you can. But all I want is your date. So if you would put your date in chat, we'll know your date. And whether you're here or not, we can shout out your birthday, because it's one thing about spirit. You do not have to be in the same room with somebody in order to actually know that we're thinking of you. Have you ever thought about somebody and was it a distance from them and whoa, whoa, whoa? Okay. So today we have a birthday in the house, and let's just let it go. Do the house, do the birthday.
What? Uh-oh. Someone's having a birthday. What? Uh-oh. Happy birthday, Wanda and Groovy G.
Yep. I love how he did the what because that's Groovy's favorite thing. So that was pretty cool. We had them both today. That's real good. So yeah, if we can do his birthday celebration every single week, then we'll know that we are touching the planet. We are definitely reaching some numbers in the planet. It's a numbers game. I'm knowing it. That's what I know about people. Lots of them. So it just truly means we're reaching people of the world as we are greatly and happily celebrating birthdays, because you know that's the day we came to be. And that's why we use Stevie Wonder, because he says something really, really powerful. He said, now, how could we not do that on the day you came to be? I can never forget that. So anyway, Timmy P, those announcements were phenomenal, and I thank you for that. I'm going to thank all the team. I thank you so much, Reverend Catherine, for those for emceeing for us today and doing your wonderful, clever, beautiful job that you always do, being graceful as you are. And I also thank you, Alan, for stepping up to do the highlight and the music. Yes, you did so well with that. And all of you who were doing the greeting portion of it and bringing people in from the waiting room and greeting all the people. That's wonderful what we do at this community. We always make sure, I saw everybody say hello to Will and stuff. So that was fabulous, because that's what we do. So anyway, it's a wonderful thing. So thank you, all of you, for doing that to each other and making us all feel like somebody or feeling special. So let's see. I think I said thank you. Oh, but Dr. Wanda, your beautiful prayer was just phenomenal, and Groovy, your reading was fantastic as always. Great job on that reading, because I definitely heard you. And for that, I'm just going to tell you now that at the end of the service, stay on if you have anything that you would like the prayer tech to put you in the prayer room for, because you will be in the prayer room with probably either Dr. Wanda or Reverend Karen or whatever have you at the end of the service. If you're looking for a prayer, these are some powerful women in my life, I'm telling you. So I just want you to know that. So, and what else do I say? I think that's all I'm gonna say. The next thing, I'm trying to think of everything I can think of this last minute. Okay, so you know, I want to piggyback on what Timmy P said about us being in Fort Mill next week at 118 Academy Street. We will be doing that as a hybrid community, and we will be online also for those that are still further away, and we'll be on virtual as well. So remember one big thing about how we can keep ourselves in one place with those two emotions, grief and emotion, grief and joy. Make sure we can keep the two of them at bay and together and work it with the mind, okay? And while you do that, just think about this last song, because the mind, anything you worry about comes about. Sorry. You're visioning it, you're seeing it vividly, and you're actually seeing that child fall. You're going to stop it or you're going to fall. You might actually vividly see yourself. And I've seen that, and I forgot to say something to myself before. It's just a vision. But if I don't say anything and I sit there and continue to worry about it, I'm bringing it on. So be happy. So this next song, Don't Worry, Be Happy, is our last song that's going to take us on to the end of our service. And then Dr. Wanda is going to pray us out. So let's hear that song. Don't worry, be happy. Don't worry, be happy. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to live with that thought today. Live with the thought. Don't worry, be happy, because that's the way to go. Being happy. And now we're being happy. Right? That's what we're doing today. Okay. Dr. Wanda is about to pray us out.
All right. Wow. What an amazing service. Yet again, thank you, Reverend Rosedale. You have just done it again. So, relaxing into this moment, I know that each and every person here today has been plugged in, empowered, electrified, and we are carrying that energy into our week. And we walk in the light and the love and the excitement that we have experienced here today. So, right here and right now, I know that there is something that each person has gotten individually from this talk that Reverend Rosedale did. It touched each person in a different way, resonated in a different way. And whatever that way was, will now go out into the world and resonate with everyone with whom we come in contact, everyone we pass, everyone we speak to. We are now walking into the world as the thing itself. And so, with that joy, that pure joy, all I can say is, as the song said, don't worry, be happy, be joyful. Joy is infectious. You can infect the world. We are now a collective virus of joy and love and light, and we're going out to infect the world with that. We are more powerful than any other energy, for love trumps everything. So, right here and right now, I give great thanks for the ability to be here, to experience each and every energy, knowing that as I look at each individual face this morning, I feel such joy in my heart. And I take a piece of each one of you this week into my week. And I remember your face, your smiling face, Groovy's dancing. We are the thing itself. Remember, we are the love, we are the light, we are the light on the hill for the world to see. Let your light shine. Let yourself be. Experience yourself fully and completely, which then gives the permission to each person with whom you come in contact to be fully who they are, knowing that just being is enough. They are not human doings. We are not human doings. We are here to be. So let's go out into the world and be the powerful individual that we were intended to be. And so right here and right now, I just say thank you. Thank you for this morning. Once again, I am going to be empowered for the next 6 days, and then I'll come back and get charged up again. And so join me in saying, and so it is.
And so it is. Woo-hoo! Fabulous. Yes, we are being instead of doing. It's all good. So if anybody has something that is on their heart that they would like to release and let go and turn it into joy, come on. You got Reverend Karen, you may even have Reverend Catherine, who knows, and you got Dr. Wanda. These are some very powerful women.